Hello beautiful people, welcome to my channel. Today's recipe, this Genoise. It's a sponge cake which is associated with Italian and French cuisine. It's named after the city of Genoa, and air is suspended into the batter during the mixing process to provide volume to the cake. It's very soft and pillowy, but it's very hard to make. So here I have an easy method for you. Before we start off, you have to understand that all the pastry chefs have highly precise ovens. With a home oven, we need a secret ingredient. So let's start off. The base of any good cake is a cake tin. Although this sounds and looks very boring and a very mundane step, because we are always more interested in making the cake. But trust me, this step will make your life more easier. You can thank me later on. So we are also coating the cake tin with butter, because the parchment paper that will follow will stick very properly to it. It won't move. See, here you are. You can see that the parchment paper is sticking very well. First we've drawn a circle, and then we'll cut long strips, and after that we are going to stick it on. Remember that the Genoise is a very soft and fluffy cake, and it's based on the amount of air that you'll be incorporating into it. So watch very carefully. Here you are, it's done. Keep it aside. Now we'll make the cake flour. My cake flour has a secret ingredient. First let's take 1 cup of all-purpose flour and add 1/4 cup of corn flour. Now this is the secret ingredient. It is half teaspoon of baking powder. Now we'll be sifting everything together for at least 3 to 4 times. This is a very important step also. Please don't miss out on this. I'm using parchment paper beneath the flour because life becomes more easier like this. If you sift your flour directly on top of the plates, the flour will stick to the plates and it will become messy, and your cake flour is going to turn lumpy. So now let's sift it very nicely. Be very patient. Our cake flour is done. Now we'll sift the powdered sugar. It's half cup of powdered sugar. Sift it and keep it aside. Now let's take 3 eggs. I have separated the yolks. We have to beat the egg whites. Remember that you have to beat the egg whites at a very high speed. The amount of air incorporated into the egg whites will decide the quality of cake. We have beaten it for around 2 to 3 minutes, and now we are sifting the sugar again. The powdered sugar is very notorious for being lumpy. Beat it at a high speed for at least 4 to 5 minutes. Now we'll add the remaining sugar. Remember, you always have to mix the sugar without running the blender, because if you run the blender directly, the sugar will fly all over the place. You have to keep running the blender till you reach the ribbon stage. Now we are mixing the egg yolks. We are not going to add the egg yolks directly to the whites, because if you add it directly, it will shock the egg whites, and the balance of air that you have incorporated into the egg whites will be disturbed. So you have to mix it slowly. First, we are going to use a spatula to mix it. Add the remaining, mix it properly with your spatula, and after that, we'll be running the blender again. Run the blender for at least 1 minute. Here you are, you can see it's nice and soft and smooth. Now we are taking milk. It is around 20 milliliters of milk. To that we'll be adding 20 milliliters of oil. Mix it together. Again we'll use the same technique. We are adding some egg mixture to the milk and oil, and after that we'll mix it very nicely. Now you can pour it slowly into the mixture. Pour little by little. Please don't dunk everything in one go. You just have to pour it and then you have to mix it with your spatula. It has to be a slow process. Let's beat it at a slow speed for around 2 to 3 minutes so that everything gets incorporated nicely. Let's add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract and we'll beat it again. We'll beat it for 1 or 2 minutes again, and after that we are done. Now we'll sift in half the flour, and after that you have to see this step very carefully. Make a J so that the flour is incorporated very nicely. See, I'm making a J and I'm moving the spatula along the bowl. You cannot overmix the mixture at this point. Now we'll add the remaining flour and then again we'll follow the same procedure. Make a J and mix it slowly and slowly until everything is just combined. Here you are, it's combined. We'll give it a final mix and you can see the consistency. It's like this. Now we'll pour the batter into the cake tin. If you pour it from a higher point, it will be easier for the batter to spread. Now give it a shock so that all the air bubbles are removed. Now we'll bake it at 160 degrees for 20 to 25 minutes. Here you are, it's swelling up and it's done. Now yet another important step is coming up. You have to lift up the cake and you have to bang it on the table so that all the hot air rises up, and this way the cake will not fall flat. Take off the parchment paper. Here you can see you have the perfect genoise. We'll keep it upturned in this position for at least 5 to 10 minutes. Remove the parchment paper and after that keep it straight until it's fully cooled down. Here you are, the most softest, the fluffiest and the most pillowy genoise is ready. Now let's cut off the excess, and this is a bad knife to use. I've misplaced my cake knife. Here you are, upturn it and cut it into 2 equal sizes. Don't make the mistake that I'm doing because I have misplaced my knife. Whenever you are baking or doing something like this, you should always keep all your stuff ready. Here you are, I've cut them into 2 equal halves. You can see that the beautiful and soft and pillowy genoise is ready. Now you can wrap them into a cling film and you can bake them ahead and use it when you want to. Thumbs up if you like it. Please hit the notification bell and subscribe to my channel for more beautiful recipes.